Yo, yo, yo. Come on in the building. Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie HerbMan. Busting you back upside the head with another hot banger. Boogie, please go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. Yes, sir. And if you're new to the program, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please follow, like, share, and subscribe on all the platforms at Love HerbMan. All right. So I am your neighborhood holistic practitioner. I'm none other than your homie HerbMan. This is where we teach people how to heal themselves, but you cannot heal yourself unless you know thyself. So we teach you here about the human frame and the human design so that you guys can be well on your way to the happiness and the wholeness and the wellness that we all deserve. Okay, we all deserve this stuff, you guys. So that's why we're going to teach you how to heal yourself. That is our primary vision, mission, is to teach people how to heal themselves. And you got to understand that you got to know yourself a little bit better. Now, we taught you yesterday about the most important three factors. You got to have a blueprint before you get the material in order for your body to do the task, okay? You got to have a blueprint in order for you to get the material, in order for you to be able to have that body do the task that you're trying to get for it to do, okay? So this is a free information station. You guys don't have to pay for nothing that you hear here today. All you simply got to do is pay attention. And how we do that on the HerbMan Show is by double tapping that screen and getting us up to 100,000 likes on the live broadcast. I'm going to work for them likes, okay? And I want you to pay attention. I want you to come. I want you to be present. And I want you to start to understand exactly what we're teaching you guys. Now, if you got any questions about products and services, obviously we have the owner's manual, which is what we're going to be talking about day in and day out. We also have the HerbMan School with the early bird special. You guys want to know more information about that, you DM me in the chat and we can get you all that type of stuff, okay? Or you can just simply go to the website, www.loveherbman.com, and you can start to get what you think you need there, okay? But once we get to 1,000 likes, you guys, we're going to get into the subject matter at hand, all right? So you guys keep tapping, and I'm going to keep talking. We're live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Go get somewhere, get situated, because today we're going to really be talking about some stuff, right? Some stuff, okay? Some stuff, because what you got to understand, you guys, is that there is no one surefire way. There's no simple remedy. There's no simple one thing that's going on in the body. Most of the time, by the time, look, we can be living with blocked arteries and issues in our blood 20, 30 years before they start to find out that you got high blood pressure, diabetes, et cetera, et cetera. You could be living with insulin resistance way before you get diagnosed with diabetes. You could be living with 20 or 30 years of blocked arteries before they tell you that you got atherosclerosis, okay? You could be living with these things for years before you get your stuff. So this is a multi-system breakdown, so it's not as simplistic as anybody wanted to think, okay? But I want to talk to you guys today about the roots, right? The roots of our issues, okay? But we're not going to get there till we get to 1,000 likes. So my thumb warriors, y'all going to have to do what y'all got to do. Let everybody know, hey, look, go tell somebody your homie HerbMan is on. And this brother is going to teach you about why you're dealing with what you're dealing with. We need to get down to what is the root cause. And what you'll understand is that, yes, they're calling it multiple sclerosis. They're calling it Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis. They're calling it rheumatoid arthritis. They're calling it what they call that, sarcoidosis, and they're calling it high blood pressure, diabetes. They're calling it all these names, arthritis. They're just calling it all these different names, but it is still the same root causation. Okay, the root is the same. The problems are different, but the root cause is the same stuff. Okay, the root cause is the same stuff. And I also want to tell you that capitalism, okay, because now we got to those 1,000 likes. Capitalism is at the root cause of your distress. Capitalism is at the root cause of your financial issues, your social issues, your relationship issues. Is at the root cause of your self-identity. It's at the root cause of a lot of your anxiety, your depression. It's at the root cause of why people go to jail. It's at the root cause of why people are doing drugs. Capitalism is at the root cause causing you all this distress, okay? And so you're like this rose here, right? If you guys can see the rose, let's put some ones in the chat if you guys can see what we're putting down right here, right? Put some ones in the chat if you guys can see the rose. You are this rose. Okay. You are this rose. And what you'll see is that stuff on this side of the rose are the good things about the chakras. It's the good things about the your energy levels. It's the good thing about your existence, right? Ain't nothing wrong with stability until you start having stress and anxiety. There's nothing wrong with pleasure until you start feeling guilt and unforgiveness. There's nothing wrong with determination until you start having self-control issues. There's nothing wrong with love until you start experiencing grief and depression. There's nothing wrong with creativity and creativity and communication until you start to doubt and trust yourself and others. There's nothing wrong with intuition until it started to turn into loneliness and delusion. There's nothing wrong with spirituality until you started dealing with attachments and addictions. So what you'll find here, and I'm going to teach you this real quick. Again, you guys, if you missed this, it's on YouTube, okay? So stability becomes the need, right? We're going to say need down here. This is what you need, okay? Pleasure becomes your wants. Your determination becomes your desires, your dreams, your goals. Okay. And so the thing is that they keep us down here in the desires, the wants, and the needs. And the needs are really what is stressing us out. Now, on top of that, these are also connected to organs. So this is the adrenals. We know that the adrenals run the kidneys. How many people are having adrenal fatigue? How many people are having kidney issues? How many people know people with kidney issues? You say, well, how do you know you got kidney issues? If you got high blood pressure, that's a kidney issue. If you got high blood sugar, that can also affect your kidneys as well, right? So then you go up and you say, oh, okay. So then this is what he's saying. So this is the adrenals down here. Let everybody know that the root chakra is the adrenals. All right. Then when you get to your sacral here, that's your gonads. So now you're looking at all the people who got reproductive issues, right? Got prostate issues, ovarian issues, breast issues, uterine issues. All of this stuff is coming from here. The pleasure turn to guilt and unforgiveness. Maybe you can't have kids. Maybe you wanted kids. Maybe you cheated on your spouse. Maybe you just had a bad look at reproduction or relationships. That starts to then take this pleasure and turn it into something negative. So this is what you should be experiencing, but these are the things that it's turning into, and it's affecting the organs attached to these particular areas. Now, when you get to the HerbMan School, again, we have an early bird special, you guys. If you guys can pay the $1,000, then go ahead and go to the website and do that. It's a year course. If not, then we got payment plans. You can do $100 a month, but you need to get in right now before the end of March, all right? So now, we also have self-control. Now, this is the pancreas, okay? This is the pancreas, aka the digestive system. So it's okay when you got good determination, right? Because you got these desires. But when these desires start to take control over you, and you have these self-control issues now, then now that starts to affect the pancreas, all right? Now, this is the thymus gland, love, okay? Love is a good thing. But when it starts to get blocked and then come over here to grief and depression, now this can start to mess with what? Your immune system comes from here. Okay, now let's take it a next step up. Here go your creativity and your communication, your words, what I say. Okay, all that stuff is good until you can't trust nobody no more. Then guess what? That's a thyroid right here. This is the thyroid. So that thyroid starts to get out of whack when it gets to being over here in this negative emotional side. Okay, so you're supposed to use your intuition. That's a good thing. Intuition and intellect has always been a good thing. How you perceive the world, that's perspective right here in the crown chakra, the third eye. But then now what happens is this is the pituitary gland. So now pituitary gland controls the growth and development of the body, right? So now guess what happens when it turns over here to negative stuff and you got loneliness and delusion because your perspective is skewed based on the programming and the life experiences. Now that starts to mess with your growth and development. You're losing hair. Okay. You're not able to carry a baby the proper way. All right. You all this stuff, cancers and all this come from growth and development. The communication is off in the body because of how you're perceiving things. You're losing your eyesight. You got glaucoma, you got cataracts. It comes from here, okay? And then the next one is spirituality. Now, we know I define spirituality as your relationship with nature. So it's very good to have that spirituality here. But what's happening is we're offsetting this with addiction. So in order for you to be in this consciousness right here, you're starting to do drugs to get here. You're not high off of your natural self. You're not high off nature no more. Now you need a substrate, or you need a medium to get into this spirituality that you're supposed to already naturally have. Everybody follow me so far. Put some ones in the chat if you guys are following me so far. So what is happening is, in our particular world, this is your original design, but because of the programming, this is what you're experiencing. So what you're experiencing is different from the original design, which is why we come on here daily from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, trying to teach you guys about your human frame and human design. This is what you're supposed to experience. This rose is supposed to grow out of this particular thing and experience this, but we're captivated down here in stability mode. Capitalism keeps you down here at the root. So everybody is stressing out. Everybody got anxiety. Everybody is worrying. Everybody is working in survival mode. And unfortunately, this is where you start to run dry. You start to get tired, fatigue. And the biggest thing going on now is kidney issues because of that fatigue. Okay. And so we got to be able to understand, how can we change this dynamic? HerbMan, how can we change this dynamic? First of all, you got to know thyself a little bit better. Somebody put in the chat, know thyself. Anybody can put in the chat, know thyself. So when you start to know thyself and you start to realize that this is really the side that I'm supposed to be on. Stability, if you look at this rose, stability comes from nature. It's a natural abundance. It's a natural sustainable thing that this rose will get. Okay. You didn't plant it. You ain't got to worry about planting it. It grows on its own, and it's getting natural stability, right? It's getting what it needs naturally, but you are not. And when you don't get what you need naturally, then naturally you're going to stress and worry about future events. And this is the burn down. This is the burnout. Okay. And now you're starting to urinate more often because of your lifestyle choices and decisions. You're urinating more often, you're flooding the kidneys, and you losing nutrients to do the material that it takes to grow this plant up strong and into the plant that it needs to be. And so what we're trying to get you to understand is that these things are very important. When you're talking about success, that's fine. Determination to get that success, that's fine. But if you have self-control issues, that can block the determination. If you got love issues, it's because of the grief and the depression. People are leaving your life, right? That's why we put it in the leaf. Okay, so you'll understand that this is a root, this is a stem, these are the leaves, and this is the full bloom. And they're all different aspects of your life. This is the root of the plant. This is the stem of the plant. This is the leaf of the plant. And this is the bloom. And these things mean something consciously, not only in plant life, but also in your life. So when we're teaching you about the owner's manual, if you guys are interested in the owner's manual, please DM us and we'll get you that information, or you can just go to the website, type in owner's manual. When we're teaching you this owner's manual, it's because we were trying to get you to understand that nature, God speaks through nature. If you just look back at nature, you'll start to pick up cues, information that is very, very important for you to understand your natural abilities, your natural frame, your natural design. And that's why I tell you that the blueprint is first. The blueprint is the owner's manual. You can't go get material if you don't got a blueprint. How you know what you need to build this house? How you even know what this house is supposed to look like without a design, without a blueprint? Then I know, okay, I got 15 rooms. I got this, that, and the third. I want a concrete foundation. I want wood framing. I want this, that, and the third. And then you go buy your wood. Then you go buy your concrete. But you need a blueprint. So this is, along with the owner's manual, the blueprint. And I put this here because this is the diagram you're going to get in your owner's manual. Blueprint must be first. Material second. The task that you want to be done. Oh, I want my kidneys to heal. Okay, well, kidneys are down here. So then what we got to do is fix your stability, fix your needs for things. Okay. Oh, okay, I want my reproductive system to heal. Okay, that's your wants. We got to fix that in your life. Because at the end of the day, these needs, wants, and desires, if they're not met under this lower self, you suffer. And you're never able to jump and get above the fray and start working in your creativity, intuition, and spirituality. I'm going to show you guys one thing. Capitalism keeps us here. Capitalism keeps us down here. But what I'm trying to get you to understand is that you can get everything from here because creativity turns into manifestation. Okay? Creativity turns into manifestation if you know how to work it properly. Okay? Then you got your intuition. That's going to help you out as well. And then you got this spirituality that's going to help you out as well. So if I know how to manifest, if I'm intuitive, and if I have the right spirituality, meaning that I have the right relationship with nature, then I see things, say things, and feel things, and think things out of love. So here is, for most of us down here, this is the ceiling. But when you up here, this is the floor. Let me let that marinate for a minute. For most of us down here, getting here is the last place. It's the end result. But when you're operating in your higher self, when you're operating in this area right here, then you'll see that you're using love as a tool. So love is in my manifestations. Love is in my intuitive. Love is in my spirituality. But if you're down here, then money is controlling here. Love controls here, but money controls here. Capitalism controls here. And capitalism will keep you here and keep you sick. See, so one of the main things that you got to understand about modern medicine is a part of capitalism. Modern medicine is designed to get you back to work, get you back productive. Remember that this is a business. The United States of America is a corporation. So we're going to give you these medications so that you can get back productive on the job. We're going to get you this quick, simple resolutions that we think so that we can get you back putting butts in seats. We need you back to work. We don't care. Modern medicine don't care nothing about your lifestyle. They don't care nothing about the environmental adjustments that you need to make. They don't care nothing about none of those things. Their job is to simply, when they're part of this capitalistic system, their job is to simply to get you back working, get you back productive. So that you can get the things that you need, the things that you want, and the things that you desire. So you see how they keep us in this loop and keeps us in our lower self. What say you? Anybody got any questions thus far? You guys keep tapping, I'm gonna keep talking. You guys keep tapping, I'm gonna keep talking. So when you're looking at these chakras and you're looking at all of that, I try to not focus on that, but I try to focus on looking at this as a plant. So the root cause, the roots, these are your roots coming from this plant. This is your root cause. You have needs, and these needs, you're trying to meet yourself in a capitalistic way. And I'm trying to get you to understand that when you go here, you can manifest, you can be more intuitive, and you can understand this thing from a spiritual standpoint more here, that where you have the abundance. There is no need to need. There is no need to want. There is no need to desire anything but to be one in an alignment and an attunement with nature. That's what we're trying to teach you. Okay, you need to eradicate these, or otherwise you'll stay in the loop. This is where disease is happening. This is where a short lifespan is happening. Yeah, this is where you get your money at, but you can get it from up here. If you knew how to manifest, if you knew how to be intuitive, and if you were one with nature, it'll bring in what you're desiring. There's not a whole lot you got to be doing. This down here, this is the human doing. Up here is the human being. We're trying to teach you the difference. Okay? We're trying to teach you the difference. Any questions? I don't want to leave my questions out, guys. We're live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Please go somewhere, get situated, and listen to what we're saying to you. Oh, I got kidney issues. Stability issues is what you got. Oh, I got reproductive issues. Your wants are not being met when it comes to your love life, your family life. Oh, I got diabetes and I got this, that, and sugar issues. Your desires. They're not being met. So you then go off the Richter scale and now you can't control yourself. Oh, I got thyroid issues. I got autoimmune issues and I got immune system issues and allergies. Okay. There's some depression and grief stuck, blocking you from experiencing true love. Oh, I lost my mama, I lost my dad, I lost the children, and now you're susceptible to the invaders, the pathogens. You didn't know that was all coming from love. But I'm telling you that this is your human design, but we want you to operate from up here instead of allowing capitalism to allow you to operate from down here, because this is going to run you down. This is going to run your body down. It's going to run that prostate down. It's going to run your uterus down. It's going to, you trying to get pleasure and you're doing it in the wrong way. It's going to run your body down. Alejandro said a human doing to a human being. Yes, but the real thing about it is this is always there. It is never gone anywhere, you guys. It's just that you don't know how to tap into this part of it. That's why the owner's manual is the most important health assessment on the planet. Okay? Because we're trying to get you to see your original design from nature and then giving you the choice. Do you want to continue to be in this rat race that's going to cause all of this stuff here to not be met? Or do you want to finally, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? And saying, okay, this brother is teaching me that if I use my voice in love, I can manifest. If I use my intuition in love, then I know what's ahead of me. There's no worry when you got intuition. There's no anxiety with intuition because you know. Okay. If I use my spirituality and be one in alignment with nature, then I can see this abundance instead of being down here trying to get it for myself. It's going to run you down when you're not in your right human design. Anybody else got any other questions? It's going to run you down when you're not in your perfect human design. And we always have been taught chakras, but we don't understand how they're aligning with these organs. Again, the root is the adrenals, aka the kidneys. The sacral chakra is your gonads, right? Or your, your reproductive organs. This solar plexus represents the pancreas. Okay. This represents the love, represents the heart chakra, represents the thymus gland. Okay. The throat chakra represents what? The thyroid. The pituitary gland represents, the third eye represents the pituitary gland. And the crown chakra represents the pineal. And you need to know these things. So now that you're not in your spiritual space, now you can't sleep. Now you got mood issues. Now you got sleep deprivation, vitamin D issues. They all come from here. So what you do here is then you're going to coping mechanism because you're not in alignment with nature. And so now you in this unnatural alignment. That's where coping mechanisms will come in. And then now you start to create addictions and attachments to worldly, earthly things instead of understanding that everything will be okay. I don't need this stuff. I don't need to do that. Peace and wellness, HerbMan. Gratitude for your content and knowledge of self. Yes, thank you, chosen one. Thank you, chosen one. I appreciate you for appreciating me. Okay? Because this is the stuff that we're trying to bring, and everybody's trying to bring it to us, but they're trying to bring it to us in the most elementary way. And so you can't get out of it what really is in it. Okay? There's really good information in this stuff that's going to help you with your health and also help you with your wealth. Wealth is right here, determination, success, right? But can't you see that wealth is of the lower chakra? So again, they got you trying to do a lot for wealth instead of you being able to see how wealthy you are already. There's no need for you to want, need, and desire anything outside of self. And when these things don't get met, you get sick. When them things don't get met, you're getting sick. Do you understand this? When these things are not met, when your wants, needs, and desires are not met, you are getting sick. You're getting sick, man. Brother can't get no money. He's going to take a penitentiary chance. That's a sickness. Man ain't making no money. Woman ain't making no money. It's going to wreck your relationship. That's a sickness. And that sickness is destroying us literally in the fabric of what we're really designed to be. Capitalism is ravaging not only Americans, it's ravaging the world. And they can call it communism, they can call it fascism. It's all capitalism. Okay? How does it feel to know the jig is up? Our MAGA rising cream always rises. Man, don't nobody care nothing about no MAGA. Okay? Okay? How do your mama feel to know the jig is up? How about that? Ask your mama. Ask your mama about that troll. Okay? Because the thing about it is MAGA ain't nothing but a lower self-consciousness. So all you did was come on here and be an example of lower self-consciousness. You see? So you're proving the point, because you're talking about politics, that's down here. Nature is not political. Nature don't care nothing about red, the blue, the MAGA, the HAGA, the FAGA, or anybody else. So ask your mama how it feels for her jig to be up. But when you come here, you got to understand that your jig is up just as much as everybody else. You ain't going to survive no longer with the information you got and what you think you know than nobody else. So the jig is up on you. You ain't got nothing more than nobody else to live longer than nobody else, pimping. Okay? Guilt and unforgiving myself is why this cold been with me for weeks. Yes. So again, we got to get rid of that, right? That's down here. Okay? Guilt and unforgiveness is something that you're wanting, Alejandro. It's something that you're wanting that you're not getting, causing you to be sick. It's something you want. And what I'm trying to do is dispel the thing is, what do you want outside of yourself? This is an inward thing, not an outward thing. What else could you desire outside of yourself? What else do you need outside of yourself? And once we start to understand that this is an inward journey and not an outwardly outsourced thing, you'll be better. You will be better. And I'm not talking about making you feel good, because we don't want to misconstrue feeling good for getting better. But there are people that come to this channel every day And they're seeing this information is making me better. It don't always feel good because I ain't gonna always talk good. I ain't gonna always look good. I ain't gonna always come on here for the good. I come on here for the better. I don't come on here to make you feel good. Oh, we got the answers. I come on here to make you better. And we got to do this as a collective unit. One person can't change the system. 100 people won't change the system. They'll lock all 100 of you up. But 8 billion people realizing that capitalism is the root cause of the stress. Why is capitalism the root cause? Because capitalism is pointing to the greatest fear in your life, which is stability and security and safety. And you getting some stability, security, and safety from what? You're getting, capitalism is pointing to your biggest fear: stability, security, and safety. But what are you getting those 3 things in? Anybody know? I'm waiting on y'all because I want y'all to see exactly what I'm pointing to. Your greatest fear is stability, security, and safety. You're confiding in one thing for all those 3 things to come about. What is that thing? It starts with an M. Rest don't get you that, Duchess. Listen to what I'm saying. They know that you want stability, security, and safety. And you are confiding in one thing for those 3 things. Thank you, Manny, one of my star students. Thank you, BK55, another star student. Thank you, 12 by 29. It's your first time here, but you're a star student already. Alejandro, thank you for that answer. It ain't materialism, it's money. So here's the thing. The Bible told you that you can't not serve 2 masters. Either you're going to serve God here or mammon. Mammon defines money. So you see, the problem of our society and the problem of our people is that we are relying on money. And so the more you have or the little you have becomes the stressor. The more you have or the little you have becomes your stressor. Steve Jobs had a lot of money, but it couldn't cure here self-control, right? Then you have pancreatic, lower self stuff. So you think that money is going to be the root solution to a root problem. But I'm telling you that if you go up here, to your higher giftings and learn how to talk your manifestations out, aka the throat chakra, creativity, communication. Learn how to communicate properly to nature, and you can manifest. Learn how to be intuitive in nature, and you can get to your destination way quicker than money can take you. And if you learn how to have a relationship with nature, then you can get around this yellow brick road a whole lot easier than being down here trying to fulfill your wants, needs, and desires. You keep tapping, you guys. I'll keep talking. You keep tapping. I'll keep talking. So this is causing us sickness because we're depending on a man-made derivative. And I'm trying to tell you that when this plant grows above the soil, it is reaching toward the sun. It is relying on natural phenomena, rain, because this grows in the wild. So you're not out there watering this every day. So this plant, in order for it to live, it has to be dependent on nature. How many people get what I'm trying to put down? Once it comes out of this ground, it has to depend on the sun to come, the rain to come, and everything else to come in order for it to grow into the beautiful rose that it was designed to be. But you have a problem with depending on nature. You got a problem with depending on nature. Nobody's ever divulged this to you or get you to understood. And I told you guys that if you go out and plant seeds right now in your backyard, you'll have more food than you could ever have. And you have to sell them tomatoes. You have to sell them pumpkins. You have to sell them collard greens and turnip greens. You have to sell them peppers. Because this is abundance, but you can't get it from down here. You got to see it from up here. Okay? So when you got this brother like me coming in and trying to teach you about this perspective, you don't realize that this is your problem. You want me to help you herbal-wise to get you right back into capitalism, just like modern medicine. And holistic practitioner ain't modern medicine. Okay? Traditional medicine is not modern medicine. So there's no way I'm going to fix you quick enough to go back to the things that make you sick in the first place. You're in the loop. So you're going to keep on buying my detoxes, keep on buying my blood pressure blends, keep on buying my sugar blends. You're going to keep on buying this and that and the third. So that blueprint, that owner's manual, that is the blueprint. Then it's going to give you the material you need to grow this plant up, and then but also get you to understand how to wean yourself off of capitalism and go back to naturalism. We're trying to wean you off of capitalism and go back to naturalism. We're trying to wean. See, you got to wean the baby. You know, you can't take the pacifier out the baby's mouth and don't replace it with something. So again, the allopathic community makes it seem as if, and capitalism makes it seem as if it's the best system. So when we take this away from you, you got to be able to have a better system to replace it with. And this is what we're teaching the people. If you want to know this stuff, you can come to HerbMan School. It's a year course. We're going to show you this system. We're going to show you this natural design. If you want your blueprint, it's the owner's manual. You DM us, we'll get you this information. If you're saying hogwash all this stuff, you just want herbs, fine, go to the website. Get your panacea blend. Get your vitality blend for your blood pressure. Get your sugar blend. But you're going to be right back in the loop. You'll be back. You'll be back. Because you want to take this back into this particular mindset. Anybody else? I ain't come on here to stay long with you. I came on here to come strong to you. Let's get this thing up, you guys. We should already be at about 50K. All right, we're trying to get to 100,000 likes. If y'all don't do that, that's fine. All I want to do is teach you that this is the way you were designed, but this is the way you're living. So instead of you experiencing stability from Earth, then you're unstable, and that's stressing you out, and that's stressing your adrenals, which ultimately is going to stress the kidneys. Instead of you experiencing the pleasure in relationships, sustainable stuff like oxytocin instead of dopamine, serotonin instead of adrenaline. And instead of you experiencing this pleasure the way that you should be, now you're over here guilty and in unforgiveness. Most people, when we meet them, have already been through bad relationships. There's only a few cultures where that woman, when you meet her, you finna take her through the first relationship she ever had. By the time that girl get out of high school, she's already had failed relationships. By the time that boy get out of college, he's already had failed relationships for the most of us here. And you take that little untrusting, you take that little crap you went through into your new person. And because you can't get what you desire here, then now you have self-control issues because you're always trying to give you what you think you want and need. And you're overflooding the pancreas, you're overflooding the liver, you're overflooding the kidneys, the adrenals with all of this capitalistic pressure. And again, folks that's down here, this is your ceiling. All you want is love. But folks that's operating up here, this is not the ceiling. They break through the ceiling and realize that love is the floor. It's the foundation. You looking at love as the ceiling. I ain't never had love. I want love in my life. I ain't never loved myself. I ain't never been able to love nobody 100% because you haven't been able to love yourself 100%. So love is your goal. It's your agenda. It's your end result. You're down here in hell talking about, man, if I could just get somebody to love me, and if I could just get that type of love I've been missing. But if you operate up here, you realize that love ain't the ceiling, baby. Love is the foundation. Lovely said, like, it is the chakras. This is the chakras. That's why we put the title there. This is the chakras, but it's taught in a different way. Because I don't want y'all to get stuck on chakras. I want you to get stuck on design. Yes. Yes. Once you get to this level, you'll realize that, dang, it's more to go. And if I can talk out of love, if I can see and think and feel out of love, love will come back to you. This is an electric body. This is a magnetic body. So if you magnetic, all you got to do is think on it, feel it, speak it into existence. That's what these three are. So you got 3 up and 3 down. See that? If y'all didn't see that, you got 3 up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The fourth one is going to be where they meet at, your meeting space. It's a lot like the relationships. You got to meet in love. You don't want your woman to be down here and you going and dating her. You down here, she down here. Lord, I must. You also don't want to meet somebody where they up here and you down here. That's a crash wreck. They spiritually on their journey, you ain't. You're going to wreck the relationship. Both of y'all meeting down in y'all lower self, you're going to crash the car. But if you can understand the meeting place is in the center, and then we use love in what we say to each other, throat chakra, in how we see life, third eye, and then in how we think about each other, crown chakra. Any questions? So now you're understanding why we're sick. We're sick because you're under pressure of capitalism. And capitalism is weighing you out. Capitalism and modern medicine is linked together, and they're going to keep putting you back out on the ball field with that injury. They're going to keep putting you back out on that football field and that basketball court with this injury because it's all about production. And they're going to ride you till the wheels fall off. When do you get the break? When do you get the rest? When do you get the repair? You're their greatest asset. Tape them up, put them back out there. Pop a pill, pull them back out on the field. And you're accepting it because of your own wants, needs, and desires within the program. You done sat here and made a life in your hellacious consciousness. You done sat here and designed a life for yourself in your lower self. You done made it comfortable in the fire. How do you meet the heart with lower half stability? I don't understand that question, but how do you meet the heart with lower self-stability? All you got to do is get here. If you're in your lower self, you get here, right? And then your spirituality comes here. Your body is raised to here. So once you start to raise your physical understanding of your body, once you start to raise your consciousness of how important the body is. I teach this a lot, you guys. Look, the old gurus, all of the old gurus, they wanted to be spiritually high with no emphasis or no care really for the body. So they fasted. They did all kinds of stuff because they thought that the physical wasn't the issue, right? The physical, we don't even need to tend to that. We're trying to get to this spiritual consciousness. So you see that they all died in faith. Buddha, Krishna, and everybody else that you're talking about, Jesus and everybody else, everybody, because the physicalness was ignored. And I'm teaching you differently. You need your body if you want to be here for a long time. You need your body, dog. That's why it is a marriage between the spirit meeting here and the body meeting here. So what I'm saying is when you get your physical consciousness of the power of the physicality in you up, and you bring the consciousness of the spirituality down to meet it, then that's when you're a whole individual. Everybody want to try to escape the body. Try to escape the body. Well, that's death. But it said that you should have eternal life. You're getting eternal death. Oh, somebody, y'all don't hear me. The thing is about eternal life, not eternal. You're gonna be dead way longer than you living. Everybody know that? I don't care if you live 120 years. When you die, you're gone for forever. You're gonna be dead for a billion years. And that ain't what I got promised in that book. They told me about eternal life, not eternal death. So there has to be a relearning of what it requires to live an eternal life. You got to take care of your body. Somebody, anybody out there that can hear me and understand me. You got to take care of your body. You have to raise your consciousness and understanding the importance of the vehicle you're in. Yeah, you know how to fix cars. Yeah, you know how to fix computers. But you still can't fix yourself. Yeah, you know how to fix the budget. Yeah, you know how to fix your community. Yeah, you can fix some things in the government. Yeah, you can fix some food. Yeah, you know how to fix yourself a drink. But you still don't know how to fix self. And you can tell me I'm a black queen, African king. You can tell me I'm a god. You can tell me anything, but gods don't die. So I'm still in my demigod version because I'm still a dummy to the physicality of the body. And that's why those people all died in faith. They didn't know enough about the importance of raising the consciousness of your physical body. And the owner's manual is the only thing that's helping us do that nowadays. Yeah, you can fix everything but self. You know how to fix everything. You know how to fix other folks' stuff. You know how to fix this and that. But when it comes to you, you can't fix that snotty nose. You can't fix your sinuses. You can't fix your weight. I see folks on here all day selling herbs, 200-300 pounds. How can you sell me a herb and you 200-300 pounds? How can you get, and I'm not saying that overweight means you're unhealthy, but what I'm saying is that it is the pastors and preachers and everything. You teach discipleship, but I can see where you're undisciplined at. A disciplined person, you ain't finna go out to Ryan's after church. If you're speaking discipleship, then that is a discipline. When you're speaking these people, they're not real people, but they are real principles. So yeah, you ain't out here cheating. You got your first lady, but you cheating on yourself at the dinner table. Eating up everything that folk want to give you because it's free. I ain't got to pay for nothing. Mother came over here with some potato salad and some collard greens and some neck bone. Yeah, but brother, pastor, you are 100 pounds overweight. Show discipline and discipleship in your body. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. You're working like you can't work ever before, trying to get that bag. And you're stressing the body out because of your consciousness of your physicality is not there. You're riding your car till the wheels fall off. I want to raise your consciousness of your physical awareness because I want to show you the importance of the matching it with your spiritual awareness. If you match what you know with what you do, You can live that everlasting life in that Bible. But in order to live everlasting, you got to take baby steps. So the owner's manual for that little funky measly $50 you holding on to is the baby step to longevity first. You can't go everlasting until you reach longevity. So we're teaching longevity to get to eventually to everlasting. Yes, gluttony is here. Self-control, that's gluttony. This is greed. Right? So the greed is down here in the root. That's why I said that the love of money is the root of it. Money ain't, but the love of money, meaning you took this up here and you're staying down. You love what you want. You love what you need. You love what you want, and you love what you desire, instead of loving how to manifest and loving how to be intuitive, instead of loving how to be one with nature. You love what you need, you love what you want, you love what you desire. So you're pushing love down into the hellish consciousness instead of pushing love up into the spiritual consciousness. Any questions thus far? Yes, you making love come down. Love should be going up. So you meet your spiritual self here in the middle and you marry yourself again. Brothers are living downstairs in the basement. Women are living upstairs. Meet in the middle. This is not just in relationships with things outside of you, but this is with you as an individual. Bring your mind down to meet your body. Bring your body consciousness up to meet in the middle so that you don't continue to be an individual. An individual is a person who is divided inwardly. An individual. I'm an individual. You that different? Which herbs offer the most beneficial fiber? The Panacea blend. You can go to my website, type in Panacea blend, and you can get the fiber. So we're pushing love down to our own wants, needs, and desires. We're pushing love down to the human doing. So you're trying to do everything because you think that that's the human experience. I got to do it. I got to supply my own needs. I have to supply my own wants. I got to supply my own desires. But the ant don't supply nothing. There's a tree out here in California called Methuselah. Methuselah, the tree, just sitting there. When you riding on the highway, after y'all get finished talking to me, appreciate all the love you guys. Let's get us up to 100K. I appreciate all 100 of you guys that are watching. When you go on the highway today, I want you to look at those trees. You didn't plant them. You ain't watering them. They living longer than you. And I'm trying to paint this picture of how better life is when you depend on nature. That's what I'm trying to paint in your mind. How much more fulfillment. That Methuselah tree is 800-900 years old. Maybe even thousands of years old. We don't even really know. And it's planted in the rocks. It ain't even in no dirt. How can it live that long and it ain't doing nothing? It ain't killed no food. It ain't bottled no water. It ain't cooked no food for itself. It ain't asked for nothing. It ain't desiring anything. It's just being. It's just being. I tell you something else. Your dog will live longer in the wild than it does in your house. When you domesticate that animal, you automatically shorten the lifespan of that animal. That cat and that dog will live longer in the wild than it'll ever live in your house. Your way of programming, you're programming animals, you're programming plants, you're programming your food, you're programming your water, you're programming your children. You want your children to do better than you. Guess what you do? You send your children right out here into this program to get bit by the same snake that you got bit by. How they gonna do better than you when you don't know better? You say, well, I ain't graduate high school. I at least want them to get a college degree. That's capitalism. School is gonna fatigue them. All that boy needs to learn how to do is be a man. The man is the degree for a boy. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Mother of time and space. Thank you for these words. All that little girl need to learn how to be is a woman. The woman is the degree. You don't got to turn her into nothing else. And guess what? She learned that by being with you. But because you in the rat race and you at the job and they got to go to school, then you change the actual design. Now you wonder why your child don't even want to be like you. Most children nowadays don't even want to be like their parents. They want to be like somebody else. That is the worst feeling in the world. Most 90% of you guys' children don't even want to be like you. Why? Because they hadn't spent no time with you. You're sending them off to other folk. The daycare provider, the teacher, the TV, the video game. How are they going to be like you when they haven't spent time with you? You are their teacher. A boy, biggest degree is to be a man, not a mechanic, not a computer analyst, not a sports player or athlete. And I know you ain't never heard that before. And I'm sorry that I had to bring that to you in that way. But I want to be able to teach it how TI is. Nothing written, nothing structured. You're seeing me flow. I told you guys the other day, I wanted to be an entrepreneur all my life. I still am a businessman. But when I got my own herb shop, I realized I ain't out the system. Because the man who I had to pay rent to, he showed me another level. Like, man, you think you doing something, but you say I don't do nothing. Y'all pay, I just own the building. Y'all pay me. I'm like, oh, my idea still ain't enough to break out of this capitalism. Because my idea is, okay, I go do this and I go do that. And then I see that it's levels to that. The man that owned the building is the one that's getting the living. Entrepreneurs don't do nothing but create a job for themselves. So we need to understand that this capitalistic thing, if you're in Africa, Asia, Australia, South America, Europe, if you're in North America, wherever you are listening to me, you're under the capitalistic strain. That is what is shortening your life, and that is what's making you sick and tired, and that is what is you got to get sick and tired of that. And I'm telling you that naturalism, the owner's manual, will get you back on pace. But if you're going to go back into this hellacious consciousness with this information, you can't jump in a pit full of snakes and not get bit. So it don't make no sense in getting this information and going back into this hellacious consciousness, because that's what modern medicine is doing. Remember, it's bandaging you up and putting you back in the game. Put me in the game, coach. I know that it's game time. You done hurt an ankle. You got the arthritis. You got diabetes and high blood pressure. I know so many brothers that are dealing with obesity and high blood pressure, still trying to drive that truck, trying to keep that lifestyle. They're putting you back in the game, quick. We don't want you to go back in the game, so we teach you the human frame and human design so that you can start to change the game and allow the game to now benefit you more. And you don't have to solve all of these wants, needs, and desires for money. If you get up and step up your consciousness here, step up your physical consciousness on how powerful your body really is, how useful your body really is, how you understand nature is very important to your physicality, because if the trees don't give you oxygen, you won't breathe. So take care of the trees. Take care of the planet. Go back to your gardening mentality. This ain't a discovery, we're remembering. And we've forgotten way more than we'll ever discover. So this is ancient understanding and ancient teaching. But when we teach you plant life, we're teaching you your life. And when you go back to this gardening mentality, you'll realize that all you got to do is just be. That tree is just being. Living longer than you, is stronger than you. Can't you just be? How many people want to just be? You may not want this, and that's fine. You may want to do. But how many people just want to be? How many people sick and tired of doing? That's why retirement is a thing, because folk get sick and tired and they just want to retire. But life ain't stopping. You made them folks make you stop from doing this stuff down here, so you retire. But you can't stop. You can't retire from life. You're still living. And if you went back to nature, you'll be strong enough to still be out there. It'll be more enjoyable for you to be out there in nature. You see, farmers don't retire. Different tribal leaders, they don't retire. They work until they can't no more. And that's for they live in 100, 200 years, unrecorded. Because they got into tune with nature, and with that, you can live longer than you can ever live down here, depending on money. Depend on nature, you guys. That's all I really want to say to you guys, man. If you guys got questions, I'll answer your questions, okay? I'll answer your questions. Just be. There's also a tree here in California. Fire doesn't kill them. It awakens them. Okay. Yeah, but look up that Methuselah. Methuselah is out there. Okay. And I just watched that tree and I say, man, this tree ain't never asked for nothing. It ain't never wanted nothing, needed nothing, or desired anything. How in the world could it be thousands of years old? And I understood that that's a peaceful state. And you can't heal without peace. And so these wants, needs, and desires, they don't keep us peaceful. The woman you meet don't keep you peaceful. The job that you did, they don't keep you peaceful. No matter how much money you got. I see all these jokers on here, all these rappers and streamers. They got to still, they don't went to streaming now. Just to try to keep some money in their pocket because they can't go work at McDonald's. There's no peace in streaming all day. They can't have no peace. The wars in the Middle East to keep you no peace. You can't heal stimulated. You can only heal regulated. Can you go over how to use your birthday and date to help determine your day? Yes, Gaga. If you have your owner's manual, we go by your birthday, okay? So when you give us your birthday, then we go by that as far as your owner's manual. It'll tell you what herbs you need, what foods you need, what nature-based interventions you need. It'll tell you your emotional releases, your spiritual tendencies, physical tendencies, all of that by birthday. So that's what we do, okay? So if you're interested in that, then get your owner's manual, okay? All right. There's no need to keep on trying to get it from here. All right. There's no need to try to get it from here. Order your owner's manual. You can get there from anywhere. You got email, my Asian brothers and sisters. If you got an email, get your owner's manual. Okay. If you want to learn this, get into the school. If you are African, Australian, and you got an email, we can get it to you. If you South American, European, and you got an email, you get your owner's manual. So this ain't something that you just got to be in America to get. All right. Peace is the most important thing. Peace surpasses knowledge, right? Peace surpasses knowledge. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise your consciousness of your physical body first. I want to show you that your body is very important, and it's more important than these things here. It's more important than you working for these things, because these things will kill you over time. Capitalism is killing us. That programming is killing the human. Why did you think Jesus went into church and knocked over all the stuff? Capitalism is killing us. And it's killing the Africans, it's killing the Americans, it's killing the Europeans, it's killing the South Americans, it's killing the Australians. So there's nowhere to run. Man, I just want to get off in the jungle somewhere. Okay. Then that means you got to learn how to be a gardener. No, you taught them how to calculate the daily date minus your birth date. God, I'm not talking about that right now. Get your owner's manual, because I don't remember you, so I know you ain't got it. So that means that you're trying to get me to do that on the live. That ain't what I'm talking about today. Okay? But that's what I do for you in your owner's manual. Now, I will also teach you that in the herb school, Gaga. Okay? So if you get in the herb school, then cool, I'll teach you that type of stuff. But right now, there's so many people dying. There's so many people hurt and sick and tired, including your boy. I don't want to come on here every day to have to teach you guys this stuff. But I know that it's very important, because this is the missing information. Remember that information is fuel. So you guys don't have enough fuel right now in your gas tank to reach 120 years old. That fuel ain't gonna be in McDonald's. It ain't gonna be in the religions. It's not there. We've been had this stuff for a long time, and we're still leaving here too early. So you have to ask yourself, the question is, do we have answers? No, because you're lacking information. You say that you perish due to the lack of what? My people perish due to the lack of what? Knowledge. Thank you. That's what you're missing. The knowledge is the fuel to fuel you into this longevity. Ain't nobody talking about this. Again, if you tell me that America is the number one nation in the world, and we really originated from America, is that gonna make me live longer? If you tell me, if you're teaching me that we're not African, it's fruitless knowledge if it ain't gonna make me live longer in the paradigm. You selling diets after diet, vegans. It's been vegan since the beginning of time. Vegetarians. Does that make you live longer? Have you seen a 300-year-old vegan yet? Well, I ain't prescribing to it then. Have you seen the most people I done seen live the longest eating meat? They were eating different things. So you got to look at the world. Some of you guys ain't been nowhere but in your little neighborhood. That's fine. But there is more out here, and that knowledge is going to give you more fuel to elongate your life. We teach longevity in hopes that one day everlasting life will become a real thing. But I got to get your longevity first. You got to take baby steps. How can I live longer? How can I live longer? You got to have the courage to change the system in which you're programmed under. And I'm not afraid. I'm a soldier, a real true soldier. I'm not afraid. When I leave here, my children will have this digital bookkeeping that I got. They'll know who daddy is. I ain't coming on here trying to get rich off of nothing. I'm coming on here trying to educate my people. And instead of opening up a little 2-piece fish restaurant where the line is long and you're going to be complaining about the way, oh, he got some good food, but it take 4 hours for you to get some food. Then Keith Lee going to come down now, and then he going to say, man, this is the best fish in the world. Then the line get even longer. Instead of doing that, we're going to teach our people how to fish. Then you can get fish when you want it. I teach you my recipe since you like my fish so much. You can get it when you want it. I don't have to be the middleman. That's what the herb school is about. So Gaga, if you want to learn more, get into the herb school. If you got $100 to spend a month, it's a year course. Let me teach you, but don't try to force me to do it on this episode. Okay? You want to know more about this, I'll give it all to you in 1 year for that little funky measly $100. If you got $1,000, go ahead and go to the website, purchase the HerbMan School. Get the education to learn how to do this yourself instead of coming on TikTok every single day. I need more of me out here, not more of you guys to watch me. It's work, it's real work that need to be done. Brothers and sisters are leaving here and dying away from here, and they're your family members, they're your friends. They're you. You're trying to watch somebody on social media. I'm trying to get you to do this. Help me. I need the help. But more importantly, we need the help. Our people need the help. Again, 100 people trying to do this stuff, man, they'll lock you up. But 1 billion people, you get to change the systems. 1 billion people can change the world. 1 billion people can change systems. 1 billion people can change the world. 1 billion people can change the system. Somebody put that in the chat, please. 1 billion people can change the world. 1 billion people can change systems. You keep trying to throw single people and single groups out to the lions, and they knock us off like they did Martin, Malcolm, and Medgar Evers, like they did Dr. Sebi and all the rest of the naturopathic doctors, Laila Africa. And I always say it's a conspiracy with all of them because there was only one man army. You can't change the world that way. 1 billion people can change the world. 1 billion people can change the systems. Keep typing that in, because we want TikTok and YouTube to understand what we're attempting to do. 1 billion people can change the world. 1 billion people can change the systems. We got 8 billion people here. We just need 1 billion. 1 billion people can change the world. 1 billion people can change the systems. But stop trying to get one person and 100 people in one special group to do it, because it's your job. It's your job. And we want to change the algorithms in this thing. Okay? So let's do this little humming, man, and then we're going to get up out of here. Okay? You guys keep tapping. Once we get to 100,000 likes, we'll do the humming and we'll get up out of here. 1 billion people. I want to be in the number. I want to be in the number. I want to be in the number. Look here, you retiring from that job and leaving here at 65, 75. You ain't really changed nobody's life but yourself. But if I told you that you had the power to change systems and the world, would you do it? If I told you that we can create a utopia that promotes more of this physical consciousness and this spiritual awareness, and that you can have anything in abundance you want if you knew how to manifest it from your throat chakra, which is your tongue. He said the power of life and death is in the tongue. That's manifestation. If I could teach you how to talk right, think right, and feel right about this experience, and told you that you're going to be abundant because of it, would you take that deal, or would you still want to do it yourself? Would you take that deal, or would you still want to do it yourself? 1 billion people can change the world, my brothers and sisters. Don't try to do it alone. We heal faster together. I'll be back on tomorrow, the same bat time, same bat channel. And we're going to keep busting you guys upside the head with this spiritual whooping to wake you up out of this hellacious consciousness and stop trying to make of living in hell. Stop trying to meet your mate in hell. Stop trying to buy your car and find your neighborhood that you want to live in and buy a house in hell. Stop it. Stop sending your children to school in hell. Stop creating ideas in the hellfire. It's killing us. And all you're doing is sending your babies to the school of stress, to the school of anxiety, to the school of self-control issues. You're sending your children to the school of guilt and unforgiveness, to the school of grief and depression, to the school of doubt and trust. You're sending your children to the school of delusion and loneliness. You're sending your children off to learn about addictions and attachments. They learn how to be who they need to be from their parents, not from teachers. You are the teacher, parents. But you got to have time to teach your children. So right now you can't leave your little job because ain't nobody going to pay your bills. That's why I tell you that 1 billion people can change the world. 1 billion people. We got 8 billion people here. I just want 1 billion people. That's my motto. I'm like McDonald's. I want to serve 1 billion people. I want to be able to put up there on my sign, 1 billion served. You can't build your own community because you ain't got governance. It sounds good, but you ain't got governance over the land. So you build your own community in a police state that can still come up there and lock you up for any and everything. So see, we got to take it over from the land, from the ground. You got to take it over from the land. So when we understand this, 1 billion people say, I want to be able to get land. Y'all can't take over. See, they can't lock up 1 billion folk. They can't police and governance and kill 1 billion people. And you need that type of power in order to take down this power. Capitalism. Capitalism is killing us. Capitalism is killing us. And I can't get you out of that. Herbs won't get you out of that. Just put me back in the game coach mentality. When you're injured, when you're hurt, it's causing you to have a shortened lifespan. That system is diabolically opposed to everlasting life. That system is diabolically, they want you to produce and they don't mind you getting money, but you won't live long with it. You see how they don't mind you getting no money, but you won't live long with it. James Brown and Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson and Prince, they don't mind you getting the bread. R. Kelly, but you won't live long. P. Diddy, but you won't live long with it. They don't mind you getting down here, but we want life, not money. We want God, not money. We want nature, not money. Because money gives me a false sense of abundance. But nature gives me a real sense of abundance. That if I plant these seeds in my backyard, I have more tomatoes than I could ever eat. But when I go into the grocery store, I ain't got enough money to buy all the tomatoes I could grow. If I get these chickens, I got more eggs than I could ever have, but I ain't got enough money to buy all these eggs in the grocery store. You see the trick? You see the trick, don't you? All right, you guys, let's hum it out. Let's hum it out. I'm overly stimulated myself today, so we're going to hum it out. Right now, if you're watching, if you're listening, all I want you to do, if you've already known this before, then I want you to plug your ears. If you don't, have never seen this before, then you got to listen, okay? Close your eyes. Drop your shoulders. Pay attention to your teeth. If they're clenched, I want you to drop your jaws. Pay attention to your tongue. If it's at the roof of your mouth, drop it. Lower your tongue. I want us to breathe in our nose, and we're going to hum out the exhalation. People asking me, how do I know when I'm regulated? If you changed in your swallowing, if you can feel the tingling in your chest, in your face, my biggest cue is swallow. When I do that, once I start to swallow, I've been regulated. You can do this anywhere you want to. I love you guys, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Please go tell somebody that I'm here and it's time. Until next time, love, HerbMan. Peace, 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 my brothers. Not goodbye. Peace. It's not a goodbye. It's not a see you later. It's a declaration. Peace. Speak to your life. Peace. Miss Saunders, I got you coming. I got your order ready. You should get your owner's manual here shortly. Love you. Thank you. Peace.